So a little break, couple minutes break, stretching the back. That's the reason I have to do some videos from time to time. So we almost finished here. We're doing splits, taking these splits elsewhere. That's 5 frames of brood, 1 with stores. Gonna take this a couple miles away, but I like it to show something. I just love to try things, and when it works, I just stick to it, and that's it. Showing you something that I said in the spring that I do when the colony starts to develop, but the weather is still unstable. I have, let's call it my crown board, which is a Corex sheet. I like to do a cut on one side as far to the end as possible, so that the bees develop. So they have on one side the brood and start developing before going to the super. And with that, by any chance we cannot get to them, when they start having too many bees, they start going to the super, but that prevents them from swarming. So that's what I've been doing. This hole here is for my feeder, but ideally it should be here on this side. I don't know if I've done it here because the entrance to the feeder doesn't allow me to do more to the left. I have to check that. Anyway, all of these are going to be replaced very soon. We're going to get bubble wrap with aluminium so that it's a thermal. This sheet is not good because it's double wall, and it condensates in between. It's not good. It's good for the summer, yes, but for the winter, spring, it's not, because even with what's that called, with the styrofoam at the top, because of the two walls, and it comes out here, it gets in contact with the cold air and it forms condensation. So it's not good at all. But for what I want to explain now has nothing to do. Right, so we have the development of the bees, in this case from this side to that side. So when they get to these last 2 frames, and if you don't have time to get to them, they slowly come up to the super in the spring, and it's kind of a swarm prevention, buys time. Now, in getting to autumn, what I have done, I have taken brood from these colonies a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks, almost a month. I left enough stores. I've done the same system, and I left stores at the top. So these were the frames that were at the bottom. I've taken the frames out so that the colony will be a bit more restricted, trying to make the queen stay at the bottom. Of course, I could have done that with the excluder, but without the excluder, the queen, when they feel that she wants to come up, has expanded, she can lay on the top as well, because what I want is brood. But what I'm trying to say with all this is that they have already drawn, not completely, but they've started drawing the last frame, right? There is a bit of honey flow, they have honey in the supers, and they are developing. So what I'm going to do now that as we go into, how do I put it, into the fall, it's still early summer, yeah, but in terms of nectar flow, it's getting less. I've restricted again, because this way can keep the warm, and they can come up through the hole if they needed to, if they have, because they are here on 3 frames, and they are starting to draw this 4th frame. Little bit on this side especially, because that side was too close to the other frame, but here you can see fresh nectar. Right, so trying to restrict them, but at the same time give them space, because these carnicas, we have to be careful with swarm prevention, also with the buckfast. But anyway, so going to what I was doing, but the idea now is getting here, and I will just take 2 frames of brood, because there's plenty of bees, and I'm gonna push again everything to one side, give them 2 frames of stores, 2 frames of honey, and I only will leave 1 frame for them to complete, and put again the correct sheet. So that way they have plenty of stores. As they expand, they have one frame to do, because I could remove some frames, and I will show why I prefer this method, and also why I don't put a frame, especially now, why I don't put a frame that it is, or should I put it this way, one frame is complete, then put a plastic foundation, so one frame for them to work, and then another frame. I never do it this way. I don't say it doesn't work, but I prefer this way, and I can see here the middle that frames that were full of stores, they have moved. Because when the bees want to move, they will. Of course, about 2 weeks ago, it was very, very, very little coming in, so they were not moving anything. They were just staying, and anything would come in, they would store it, of course. They were not going to draw. But now, since I got from holidays about a week ago, I can see that there is something coming in. Little, but every day a little bit, and they have stores. It makes a difference, and they are expanding. So one frame of brood out of this colony, for example, that's what I'm going to take now. One frame of brood will not make any difference, because they have plenty of bees. They have bees in the super, and if they were by any chance feeling cold, those bees in the super would go down to the what's it called, to the nest. So that's what I'm taking out of the brood nest. So just one frame. Let's see if I can. That's it. Just one frame. So I'll put 5 frames like that and 1 frame of stores, and that's my split now. So taking just that frame and then put it back, everything back in order, it will make no difference for this colony, because it has plenty of brood. This is all brood. So she's even starting to lay here. So the idea now is, what I was saying, well, this frame is almost drawn as well, halfway, but a lot of pollen there. So I don't want that frame here, because there's too much pollen and the queen will not lay. I can put that on the top, and I'm going to give them a frame of stores, because then they will remove. The only thing I could do here on this side, because it's too fat, I could just scrape it so they would move it, but I cannot do it now with one hand. So that's the plan. So I put one frame here for them to draw, and another frame of stores. It's not coming in because they are filling it for every single cell. And I only have this way one frame for them to do. And again, I put it like in this position. So maybe it doesn't make a big difference, but I would like that hole here, really at the far end, so that all of this is with bees, and only when they really feel that they need to go to the super is when they go. We have only here a couple of frames and foundation. So this is the way of storing it for now, until end of September I can have this like that. Because if I want to feed them, if I leave a space, if I move 1 or 2 frames out, a space like that, and I have the sheet in the middle, I can give them paste. The paste will be here. I've done it in the spring. The rest will be here. The rest is frames. It's all secure. The wasp won't get to them, and also the bees. And I will reduce the entrance of the hive to half. I'm doing it now already. So I'll find this method very good for the spring to prevention of swarming, help developing the what's it called, the colony, and now in the autumn, and even in the spring. If you want to have this hole, for example, on top of the cluster where the bees are, you can move it, and you can put the paste on top, and you have all these frames here that on the super ready for whenever they need it, as they eat, and then when you start developing, when you put your food here, you can put with a plastic container, so it keeps all the worms, so the worm doesn't escape from the brood nest. But when they really start developing, and you know it's time, you can rotate the plastic to the far end, and you can, instead of putting on the top the food, you can put it on the side. The bees come up, they will eat, and they will start developing. They will start going to the frames, and it buys time. You know, people that work, have your job, and you don't have the time to be on top of your hives. Under my particular case, I have more than I should have hives. That way, it helps. It buys time. Sometimes when they really start developing in the super, there are thousands and thousands of bees in the super, just hanging on the frames on the walls, waiting for the nectar flow. So if we are feeding, they don't have the tendency to swarm straight away, because they have the space, and you're feeding, you have all of those thousands of bees extra. When you get to the nectar flow, then it's a boom. They fill up those supers very, very fast. Ideas, I mean, that's my idea, that's how I work. And always trying to improve a few things. Definitely, this correct sheet is horrible. It's not good. Like I said, summer, fine. Winter, very, very bad. So I need to have either just a plastic with a styrofoam, or ideally, and that's what I'm going to do, it's a bubble wrap with foil, and then the styrofoam on top when I'm not feeding. Ideas. Okay, catch you, buddy.